Episode 22 of Karandrin RPG's Brise's Tale. Hello, everybody. I am Kevin Manus Pennings, also known as Crack Palantir. I will be your host and game master for the night for, yes, episode 22 of Brise's Tale. After her discovery of an underground species and their little outpost in this abandoned manor. And as always, joining me, playing Brise, is my good buddy Max. Max, say something to these lovely people.
Hello, everybody. Kevin said something about exploring underground. I don't know what he's talking about, but I guess we'll find out. I just kind of just say stuff and roll dice, and he goes anyway. But welcome back. Glad you returned to our adventure.
Yes, it's today is exciting for several reasons, not just episode 22 and Brise's imminent death, but also because we have a website up after much talk and torture and so on. So you can find us now at Karandrin.com. And
Karandrin.wordpress.com. Or does
not
Karandrin.com
anymore.
work too? Oh!
We decided to go ahead and upgrade, so we went ahead and upgraded. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, Max. I thought I had actually, but slipped my
I'm
mind.
only slightly offended.
That's right. In fact, I did tell you. Remember, I told you we upgraded because now we can sell stuff.
You said you upgraded. I had no idea what you meant.
Oh, sorry,
like,
you upgraded the website.
Website, okay.
Through your WordPress, and so yeah, you can find us at www.karandrin.com. And we haven't fully figured out everything we're going to be doing with the website, so you'll see it change and evolve over the next several months. But so just keep an eye on that, and we're going to be certainly posting some sort of basic outlines of cultural information about the world and things like that as I create them and we get feedback from Reddit and other sources. That kind of flesh out the world and kind of have a gallery of resources that won't spoil too much and will give you a sense of the world.
And if you all lovelies have any ideas for the website, don't feel free to comment, send us a message.
Yeah.
Page us, send us a fax, whatever you want.
That's right.
Let us know what we do to make the Karandrin experience better.
That's right. Max's carrier pigeon address is at Street, and so just send your carrier pigeons on, and that'll be great. So yeah, so we're excited to have that up. Another announcement I just want to make early on is that next Wednesday we won't be doing one. I haven't talked to Max yet about maybe trying to do an early one or something like that, but we'll make an announcement ahead of time. But I've got travel plans that conflict with our Wednesday night, so we'll get that nailed down and let everybody know. And like I said, so welcome to episode 22. Max, you want to kind of update the people on what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, the good thing the last episode was a lot of just interacting and exploring. Not a whole lot happened, actually. So it's not too much. But last episode.
They need to know to understand.
They need to know that I have been exploring an estate up in the Goblin Mountains, the mountains of Nargaz. This long abandoned estate. And inside a shed, I spotted an unusual creature. It was intelligent. It uses tools and has some sort of language as well as accompanying fellow creatures with it, fellow kin. And I offered it a gift and asked to see its home, see its dwelling, I guess. And now they are guiding me through their home. Underground. These are, I don't know how to describe the creatures. They're kind of have like very tall, gray skinned, with kind of a long trunk that they use to kind of feel and smell things. Large black eyes and no ears that I can no visible ears. Very curious creatures. So, yeah, I'm putting my trust entirely in their hands.
And you really can't communicate. You're communicating gesturally with them, right? You don't have any language in
right,
common.
right. They their language they did speak briefly. It just was very. It wasn't even like words. Just a lot of grunting. It's something I couldn't really.
Yeah, it's sort of
vocalize.
guttural, very few consonants. So yeah, so that's where we are. He is being led down. She, I should say, is being led down a long underground passage. The floor of which seems to be packed soil, except that it's just so hard. And there's a. You notice also, I should say, a surprisingly little amount of dust. I mean, if all this is dirt,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, so you just keep being led by these individuals, and I should remind you, just to remind you, because I remembered. Don't forget, Max, your miracle roll. You get one every session.
100. What happened?
Okay, that's it. Well, and like if you roll the miracle roll before stating the question, I get to choose the question.
Exactly. Actually, I rolled 66, which was that like the death number, right? It's the critical.
Yeah, 66, and this is based on Rollmaster Second Edition. It's the mechanics we basically use, and 66 on the critical charts. If it doesn't kill you, it would damn well put you in a position where you're much more likely to die. Quinn, who is joining us on the chat, Quinn is very familiar with good old 66. I'm sure he's lost a number of characters to that. And so, like, these are ideas that are occurring to me, Max. We're going to define Miracle Roll on the website. I think that's a good idea. And I want to talk about Karandrin points.
Oh boy, it's becoming official. We can't joke about it anymore.
We're going to put it on there. Oh my God, what if we had a running tally on there? That would be so funny. I'm going to make Quinn one of the admins to the website, and when we award Karandrin points, he can keep track. So Quinn, what do you say about that? Give us a
sabotage me. Gonna slander me on the website.
Somehow Quinn keeps winding up with 1,000 Karandrin points. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know how to do that.
My notes. Okay.
That's right.
Back to the game.
All right.
Late afternoon. We said.
And you are, your staff is back at the carriage house where they have their entrance. Isn't that right? Or are you carrying your spear with you? Did I say staff?
No, I did pick up my spear. And I did pick up my lantern that's lit.
Right. And your lantern is just floating beside you.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything in your hands?
No, I would have, as long as their weapons are put away, mine are too. So.
Right. You guys continue to walk down a passage. I mean, the thing has got to be, it's got to be a mile. I mean, you are walking and walking and walking and walking. You can tell the texture of the walls change here and there, that you can see that there are now boulders becoming more common and so on, and they have sheared those off, and there's packed soil around them. It's like the cross section of the mountain in some senses.
Wait, so they like the boulders, they actually like cut through the boulders to make it straight?
Yes.
No. And I haven't seen any like tools, right? Like anything, just their weapons.
Mean, they do have weapons that are well, why don't you roll for me?
I meant digging tools specifically. I haven't seen any like implements that might be achieved. 38. It's their hand.
No, not digging implements. They clearly have some basic iron shaping, but it's clearly they've only gotten iron from other implements they've stolen or found.
Yeah.
And then so there's a mix. Uh, oh, sorry. Oh, wait, Quinn, you have an announcement. Oh man, you can interrupt the stream for an announcement. It better be penis oriented though. So make your announcement. We'll wait patiently.
Boo 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 boo.
Um, so Quinn, take your time. Everything's fine. Just make your
We'll just
announcement.
stop it for you.
I mean, just the whole world. All of Karandrin is no longer revolving. Oh yes, it is. It's revolving around Quinn. Um, so, um, but I tell you what, make your announcement, Quinn. I'm just going to finish about the tools. So, their weapons are clearly a mix of homemade stone and things like that, basic clubs, and metalworks they've found elsewhere. Um, so, um, um, the Quinn, anytime, buddy. Uh, and so I'll give you another just a tidbit. Is that they come a point where there is another citizen unarmed, and some of this begins to make sense to you. This construction. It seems to be a female of the species, much smaller, shorter than you, and they are packing earth into a patch that needs repair in the corridor, and they're packing earth, and their trunk is emitting this uh, mucus, and she's smoothing it over, and you can watch it harden, and you're basically they produce some sort of cement.
Wow.
That is nasal cement, we could call it, that firms up the foundations of their structures.
I'm gonna suck if you sneeze and something gets stuck in there. You're just
Yeah, so you suffocate, and interesting. You're just instantly.
pretty cool.
Um, their tensions rise because you're approaching an unarmed civilian of theirs. They watch you more carefully. They gesture for her to kind of, flatten herself against the wall. You guys sort of give her a wide berth. I mean, the hall is 20 feet wide. I mean,
Right.
it's very broad, and, you are watched much more carefully. Um, and so, um, after a good while, uh, you guys come to a series of stairs. These seem to be mostly stone, um, that has been smoothed over very deliberately. Um, the stairs are fortunately comfortable for you because their women need to use them, and the women are as short as you are.
Right.
And so you guys come down quite a 3 flights of stairs. Going, it's hard to estimate. Roll for me.
88.
You feel like you're easily 50 feet further underground.
Wow.
Um, uh, so the you enter what is clearly another guard room. Ends, the foot of the stairs, and it just opens up into a guard room. You can hear conversation as you approach. The conversation stops as you hit the bottom. And four males about the size of the ones that you've seen so far. They step forward to hey, what's, to sort of see what's going on. They're all
Yeah.
armed. There are these, raised sort of platforms of earth like we saw in the carriage house before,
Yeah.
very squared off. They really are like just platforms,
Yeah.
and so um, and there are weapons lying here and there. There's not many of them. There's a couple of just free weapons lying about. Um, yours is the only source of light, and there's an exchange of utterances between your lead guard and these.
Hmm.
Um, one of the guards moves to a passageway beyond, um, and essentially um, gives out through its trunk this very beautiful note, very high pitched. Um, and remind us where your familiar is. Did you leave it on watch or is it on your shoulder? I can't remember.
It would be on my shoulder.
Okay.
I brought it in, and we were walking down the tunnel. Yeah,
Okay.
last episode, so it's just still on my shoulder.
Um, so um, after a moment, another guard appears. There is a sense of youth about him. A message is passed to him, and he runs off. Um, and the guard, gestures for you guys to continue. You go across this sort of broad guard room, and you enter that passage where you saw the young guard. Let me take a moment. I'm going to post notes and personality and everything. You also see the web page up there, guys. The web page is also available for everybody. It's on the description of this video or in the notes. I forget where it appears exactly. But below the YouTube video, you'll be able to see there and click the web on the new website. And like I said, it'll be evolving over the next several months. But anyway, so you continue. There's clearly a sense of slowing the pace a bit. Roll for me.
66.
Hilarious.
I die.
You get the sense that they're trying to give time for that message to get delivered.
Oh, sure.
Um, so you go down a long, gentle ramp. It's several hundred feet. There are chambers off to the side here and there, um, and passageways. Um, uh, you can hear people, or you can hear these individuals working on things, pounding on things. So some sort of work areas for the construction of things that the community needs. And then you come to this massive open shaft around which there is a spiraling ramp that goes very far down.
Oh my gosh.
Here you can see that breaks in whatever their mucal cement is allowing some moisture to drip through. So the walls are wet here and there
Yeah.
where groundwater has penetrated. Um, it is unfathomably deep. There's no, your light, which stretches easily 50 feet, doesn't hit bottom.
Wow.
And of course, the shaft itself has to be extraordinarily wide to account for a 20-foot wide spiral. You guys go down one full loop, and you can see, even without your lantern, you can see light spilling from the level below on one exit. And you so here they get off of that one exit, they walk into the light. You can tell that they slow their pace a bit to let their eyes adjust, and they walk in, and it is this very broad chamber. I mean, you're talking like a third of a football field, right? Just really large chamber, flooded by natural light from these three enormous openings that look out onto the valley.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a balcony
Right.
through these windows, and it's very heavily treed. There really is a sense of what's the term I want to use here, of being concealed.
Mm,
Um,
right.
um, um,
Is there? I'm just
and
curious. Is there a shape to the windows? Any like
what if
recognizable?
I told you no? The windows have no shape.
Well, are they? Are they? I'm sorry.
No.
Are they? Is there a regular shape to the windows? They look natural.
Um, there seems to be some attempt to follow the shape of the natural lines of the rock,
Okay.
um, but it's not. There's no regular pattern to it. They try to make the size of the seams relatively equal, and so you just have these pillars of natural rock sort of remaining, right?
Right.
Um, there are wooden and clay bowls down around the central pillar. Food, flowers,
Mm.
some of which shows some evidence of spoilage. Um, and um, there is a crude painting in white of a raptor of some sort, falcon, eagle, something like that. And then you realize the scale of what they've drawn, because down below are their little figures.
Oh my gosh.
Um, so they just sort of stop, um, and there's some stadium seating here, made in that same. It reminds you so much of the platforms of the beds. You
Mm.
know, they're a little high for you. You kind of have to hop up like a little kid if you wanted to sit down.
Yeah.
Some of them just sort of recline against the wall and lean against the wall. This is apparently a place we're going to be waiting for a little bit. Um, um, the sort of your lead guard um, um, gestures to the outer balcony, which is very heavily treed. Still letting in sunlight into the balcony and into this interior area. And sort of the idea clearly being, you're free to explore this area. You have the run of the room,
Sure.
basically. Um, and he just sort of stands and props up on his big heavy weapon of whatever sort. I forget which one he had. And
Yeah.
um, you guys are waiting.
Okay. Well, I will take him up on that offer and start kind of doing a perimeter, I think, around the room. I'll check out, I guess, the windows first to try to place maybe where we are. I can get a view of anything outside.
There's definitely a road you can see in the extreme right. You can
Okay.
see, um, based on where the sun is falling, it seems like you're looking to the east, out the windows, and so that road lies to the south. That could be the continuation of the road that leads to the town that you're stationed in, but there's no real way to determine that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
How high up is the window too? Is it?
how high up?
Yeah.
I mean the sill is very low, but it goes probably 12 feet high.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
And there's an entryway out onto the balcony.
Okay.
Um, but from that window, you can see that they clearly don't appreciate harpies. Because obviously any flying creature can break their concealment.
Yeah.
And so out among the trees of the balcony are hung the heads of harpies.
Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Uh, and sure enough, you see two guards standing out among the trees, and they're keeping their eyes skyward and just watching every now and then.
Yeah.
And they have with them the biggest slings you have ever seen. I mean, you're like, those stones are half the size of a bowling ball. I mean, I guess Brise doesn't think that, but Max would have thought that had he not
Yeah.
been
I
so
wonder if they're as
lazy.
heavy as a bowling ball as well.
Right. Um, and so I learned in astronomy that, like, when they do evaluating planets and their composition, they need to know densities of basic substances, of course. And
Mhm.
so the three numbers that are most often used is water has a density of obviously one gram per
Yeah.
cubic, per cc. And rock is 3.7 and iron is 8, and
Okay.
those are your numbers. And so I forget so like they know, like, oh, that's a terrestrial like planet because it has
Right.
this average density. And
Right.
so there was a news story oh gosh, it was before I lost my job, so that had to be more than a decade ago, where they found one that had this crazy high rotation and this really strange density number.
Mm.
And the only thing they could think about, the only thing they could make sense of for the planet not to tear itself apart, spinning as fast as it was the planet had to be largely constructed of diamond.
Oh man.
Isn't that crazy?
Diamond.
Um, now, whether there's been further research, I don't know. But um,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, these guys are keeping their slings loaded, just swinging them, and just watching for trouble.
Right.
Their garb is different. Um, they have clearly taken apart a chain shirt, um, and just sort of made a bandolier out of it.
Oh, really?
And so they each have a chain sort of sash across them, demarking their position or something. Um, One of them notes you and approaches. Your lead guard intervenes, and there's an exchange. Um, um, and the um, and both of the balcony guards approach you and just kind of look at you with a great deal of interest.
I pose.
That's right. Um, um,
Yeah, Obi-Wan Karen. I don't know what Quinn was trying to announce, but it has
Quinn, did
not.
you? Yeah, buddy, do you want to make that announcement? You want to text me your announcement, and I'll.
He said, "Thank you. You may carry on now." I don't know if that was
I
with
know.
irony or not.
I'm like, now I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. Who cares about what's going to happen to Brise? I don't know what's happened to Quinn.
That's right. Quinn's announcing gender reassignment surgery again. You'd think he would stop going to that alley doctor. I mean, I can't. How many botched operations? I mean, is it all just roast beef down there now? I mean, is it just
Oh, okay.
a mangling of. I mean, I don't. What I'm saying is, it looked like pastrami that's been hit with a shotgun. This is what I'm asking. It's. I don't.
Oh, and on
Major
that note,
announcement.
lost my appetite and any pastrami.
That's right. Oh, here's an announcement for you. Beloved Norm Macdonald died.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hear about
awful. I love Norm Macdonald. Love him. Quinn, make your announcement again. And if it's just thank you. Posted a little throw up emoji. Was that for the pastrami hit by a shotgun argument? Did I mention the mayonnaise? Anyway, what really matters is this whole stream is going to be hijacked by my descriptions of his mangled genitalia and his lack of an announcement. That's what it's going to be.
It's going to be like a stalemate, just back and forth. Those two topics.
That is fantastic. So Quinn's announcement, for those of us who are just listening and not watching, is that Norm Macdonald, beloved comedian, died recently, and OJ definitely did it. That is fantastic.
No, that's impossible. OJ is innocent.
That's right. Oh, wait.
At least this time.
Wait. He said OJ definitely did it, and then he said okay announcement. Wait, okay, OJ, which one did it? That's what I want to know. I'm really confused here now.
You need to put more words in your messages. You can't just send.
I should post Quinn's announcement on the captions underneath
Oh
that.
gosh!
You know,
Just watched the pastrami story on the
on the website. Here's,
image of pastrami.
So, man, this lag between our discussion, you know, and so on, it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty standard in streaming for a good 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, that was a great one, Quinn. That was funny. You're right.
And we just see tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Did you see it this time?
Tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific.
You gave us a time, but not an announcement.
Man, I am so Quinn. You are raising my blood pressure. I have no idea, and I don't have mangled genitalia that you can prove. And
well, we're on stream right now, Kevin. I think there's only one way to diagnosis. It's possible.
Yes, we definitely saw the time, and yes, is that
He's just trying to stall. I think he just wants us to keep.
Right? He's like, I'm sick of this stream. I'm going to derail it with. Obi-Wan has announced a ban on all future announcements from Quinn.
Messages are being filtered. Yeah, I wonder if you're putting in some keywords. Probably shouldn't write about Al Qaeda or KKK. I'm pretty sure those get filtered out if that's what's happening tomorrow.
Oh, so your messages are being filtered out, apparently.
Right. Yeah, I mean certain words.
Well, shoot, Quinn, text me, buddy, and I'll announce
links. Links will probably also get filtered. Don't put website links.
Right.
just write the dot. Like write the word dot. Don't put dots or wwws. Those will get eaten up.
That's it, man. This is
Because horror stories is you'll go to like bots will post links to porn sites on a stream meant for kids.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's so.
So you just gotta no links at all.
Well, that's one of those things where it's like, I mean, it's funny that you did that you posted porn to a kid site, but it's not like you're going to make money off of it. Well, Quinn, text me the announcement. I'll just make it verbally. So, they're clearly very interested in you.
Mhm.
One sort of grunts at you in a very particular way, and he raises his hand and shows you his kind of semi-webbed, clawed hand, and moves his fingers, and then watches you.
I hold up my hands and I speak the words. Check it out. No, not the same.
I got you. Fallout 76. This is Quinn's announcement. Fallout 76. He has finished his water park headquarters. He's going to be on Discord live. That's fun.
Okay, yeah, everybody go after our stream. Go tomorrow. Check out a stream.
Well, very cool. I guess he got done with that. He's been working on that for a while. He loves building really crazy, cool, like headquarters, camps. I guess I forget what they're called exactly in Fallout, but they're basically bases of operation.
Yeah.
And oh man, he builds them in the coolest locations with like cool views or like in really unique areas. So that's really cool. Well, thanks for the Quinn. Thanks for that. I'm sorry I got blocked there. So camps, right? So you guys are there for several minutes. They kind of, examine you for a bit, and they they kind of reach for your hair.
No, I step back when I am touching me.
And they're kind of respectful of it. And the lead guard, kind of scolds them apparently, and they shake their hands in this really strange gesture, and they go back to their posts basically and start watching the skies.
And in that time, a harpy has attacked and ravaged half the.
That's right. Damn it! It took all of our goodies. So that same young guard, if you're any judge of these strange people, comes running back and finds you guys there. He passes a quiet word with the lead guard. The lead guard then speaks to his two companions, not the balcony guards, obviously, but the other escorts for you, and they and off you guys go. You head back out, and you head back to the great spiral, and you go down couple of rotations down this great shaft. You keep thinking you would expect there would be kind of a smell, and that sort of thing, but it's not. There's just generally a sense of cleanliness about these people.
Underground.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They really kind of keep things very sealed and keep the moisture at bay. I mean, the biggest sense you've gotten was from some of the spoilage of the food. and just the smells of the valley coming in through the windows.
Right.
So you guys pass down several spirals. Again, your light is the only one showing. You can tell that as your light approaches a doorway or a passageway, sounds kind of stop sometimes.
Yeah.
People are like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then as you pass such a passage, you'll find inevitably um, male and female of this race just staring at you as
Yeah.
you pass by, and sometimes they get scolded to go about their business clearly, or sometimes they're just ignored. You pass through one area.
Does
Uh,
it seem fairly densely populated? I mean, I know it's really big, so it kind of seems like they make it bigger than they need to.
it's big in the sense that all the rooms are big because the species itself just needs a lot of room.
That's true.
It's hard to judge. Um, it's hard to judge the size um, of the whole complex.
Yeah, I mean, it feels huge to me, but
Right, because I mean, all the rooms are very tall to accommodate their height, um, and so it is. It's just you definitely, every room you walk into is so spacious. You keep coming across these spacious rooms and passageways that you certainly are building a sense of size that may be misleading.
right.
Um, so you guys pass down a passageway. It's got a few curves to it and so on. And here you have your first evidence that, hey, maybe just like so many other places you've seen, this place too may have originally been used by somebody else. You're passing an area that's clearly a large kitchen. Um, but here, the entryway to the kitchen is not sort of the very straight. These people like straight, 90 degrees. That's what
Yeah.
they like a lot. Especially if there's soil to be worked with, that they can just cut through and then cement up with their mucal material.
Hmm.
But here, the kitchen is an archway that they've decided to kind of restore and not cover over with soil. And the archway is very ornate. Um, and what it shows is carvings of um, various scenes of towers, towns. There are sort of an ivy-like plant that spirals through the imagery, so to speak. And here and there is definitively some sort of dragon-esque creature. But as opposed to the great flying beasts with a long neck, larger midsection, and then a long tail, this dragon-esque creature is wingless, and it's multiple limbed, um, and its neck actually starts broader, and then the whole thing begins to narrow toward a tail. It is short muzzled. It's not got the longer muzzle of the dragons you've seen depicted. And it's also got horns on its head, curved forward, and horns on the lower jaw. You wouldn't really call them tusks as they don't grow out of the mouth, but tusks growing from the lower jaw that curve downward. You've not heard anything like it. Um, there are large ones and small ones depicted at the top of the arch. The ivy continues all the way up into scenes of clouds, and the sun on one side, the moon on another side.
Hmm.
And this sort of, I don't know, sort of thick serpentine dragon-like creature is depicted wrapped within the clouds, wrapped around the sun, peeking behind the moon.
Oh,
Sometimes the image is fierce, teeth bared kind of a thing. Sometimes it's playful,
nice.
um, and they've left it. So at least some parts of this may not be original.
So it straight. There's definitely a kitchen area, and is the arch isolated, like around it, or
Right, it just sort of appears in the wall that is otherwise smooth, and clearly
Yeah.
smooth by their very geometric preference.
right? Okay.
Um, so you keep going, and there is clearly a large chamber ahead, just beyond the kitchens. And it's larger than their sort of shrine area, the balcony shrine area. And your lamp cannot fit it, cannot light it all. It too has 2 or 3 levels of stadium seating that wrap around. I mean, it certainly smacks of a meeting place or a worship place, something like that. The guards break off and, shockingly to you, light torches.
Huh.
And
Using like they have it on their belts, like flint and steel and tinder and stuff, or do they already have torches lit and they? Yeah.
no, they reach into, they most of them have sort of clearly animal hide pouches
Right.
on them. I mean, fur intact on them, and they are squeezing this slender blue root onto a very sort of basically made torch. And as soon as that stuff hits the wood, it burns.
Ah.
And soon the whole place is lit. It's about twice the size of the worship area. There is a table sort of in front of all the seating, all the stadium seating. And there are sort of great heavy chairs. They gesture for you to take a seat at the first level of stadium seating.
Sure.
The walls here are painted with symbols and also sort of less prominently the sort of sign of the raptor, if we can call it that. Yeah. Not of the rapture. Don't get me confused there. Don't.
I found it.
That's right.
I didn't even have to do a miracle roll.
That's right. And so, yeah, so they stand and wait. The guard, the lead guard, speaks to his men, nods to you, and then leaves.
Okay.
Anything you wish to do during the wait?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my spectacles of sophistication and see if I can read these symbols, or are they imagery? That's what I'm not sure about.
Well, I mean, I guess your spectacles will do their best. For
Yeah.
people who don't recall, the spectacles of sophistication allow the wearer to read any language. Although we've seen it fail maybe a couple of times.
Mhm.
Um,
Fail, I think on. Oh, I can't even remember. It was like an otherworldly language. Maybe I don't know.
right. I think that was the theory at the time. Yeah.
I like. I read it. And it says like delicious human.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's
Human
right. Bring food here. That's right.
pantry.
Dissection theater. What? That's not.
Uh,
Um, so, um, the weight is considerable. And then,
does it tell me anything or no?
oh, forgive me. Sorry. I was trying to keep something in mind for what's happening next, and I totally got. It's interesting. I have a weird question. Because a people's name, you know, doesn't really, all it means is us. And so would this say
Yeah.
us, or would it say, you know, it's really interesting.
Oh yeah.
The other part about it is that it would give you a sense of how to say it. You know what? What I should do is give you the meaning, because that's what it means.
Magic item would do. Yeah. It wouldn't translate it necessarily. It would just give you what it means.
Right. Well, it's not going to give you the pronunciation of what their word would be.
Exactly.
So, it says, the symbol says, essentially, the holy people of the soil.
Don't tell me shit. I actually wrote shit instead of soil.
Ah, the holy people of shit.
Well, that's interesting. They consider themselves righteous, holy, whatever that word means. My glasses tell me. Okay, well, is that kind of the only symbol I come across that I can read?
Looking around the room. Do. Yeah, it's kind of written in various sizes. There are clearly prominent ones that were done very deliberately. Strangely, there are little ones done very low,
Mhm.
very small, and very low. And you're like, are those? Is that where kids have copied
Yeah,
the symbol?
yeah.
Um, they certainly seem messier. They seem less formally placed, less deliberately placed.
Mm.
They seem cockeyed, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, the R's are backwards.
The
Uh,
moly people of the soil. No. No.
of poop, holy people of poop. We're,
Eh.
we're poople. What? It's awful. Um,
Okay, well, I will sit down and take out. So I have some just loose sheets of paper. Take one out and draw the symbol with. I should have some quill and ink.
yeah.
Just sit down and draw that, and I'll keep the paper out here with the quill and ink
Okay.
in case I need to communicate anything else.
So yeah, you sketch it, and yeah, you're pretty pleased with the result after a couple of tries. Movement from a passageway you didn't notice at the far side of the room, facing forward. There's movement and indeed light coming up from a lower level. Um, Two females of the people of the soil come into the room, and they are painted. Interestingly, they have. They are the women you've seen. I mean, they're topless. They don't cover their breasts.
Sure.
These women don't cover their breast either, but painted across their abdomens with the head in between their breasts is the sign of the eagle or raptor.
Mm.
Um, and they are leading an older um, person of the soil, male, somewhat larger than others you've seen, although clearly much older. Um, One carries a torch, the other kind of helps him along.
Mm.
But what's really interesting about it is the priest bird that follows him.
What? What? Followed by a
Why
priest.
don't you describe for the folks what your interest is and what they are in the priest bird here?
Well, everybody, I had an encounter with the priest bird many episodes ago. Might have been before we were even recording. I think so, but yeah, priest bird, giant. They're like a hen, right? They're almost like kind of like a chicken, giant
Kind of like a pheasant,
pheasant. That's what it was, not a hen.
large pheasant. I mean, they
Huge pheasant creature, with these very huge like pinions, like long tail feathers. And it seemed to have some intelligence. It was able to like draw symbols with me, and what does that say? And yeah, it was able to communicate with me, and it seemed to know that I had needed some, what's the word, divine guidance, I guess. Like I had
certainly recognize that you were in danger from
yeah,
evil, I guess.
yeah,
I
yeah,
had a
and it
sense about that.
tried to do something about it. It actually flew me over to a shrine up in the mountains of. These weren't in the mountains. This was in the Vetch.
Right. So yeah, the steep hills of the Vetch to the west of where you are now.
Yeah, so it flew me to this shrine, and thinking I could, use its aid. And the other thing is that it seems to very much detest evil and the undead, because waiting at the shrine was this huge undead creature that it annihilated. Literally, just went berserk and started like attacking it. Um, oh, and the most important thing I forgot is that it was able to hide me as well from had this instinct to, when I was confronted by Verilag, the evil sorceress, it sensed her presence and seemed to make us both invisible right before her eyes, which was very interesting and very useful.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Verilag was right. I mean, within stone's throw of you guys,
Yeah.
and she would walk right by you.
Yeah. So I've been seeking these birds as well for their possible allyship, or at least as a resource, something that could be helpful in my current endeavors dealing with demons and evil sorceresses and the like.
And you've invested in magic to help you communicate with.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, so that there's now a way for you to communicate with these guys and see if you can make use of them further.
Right.
Um, so, um, so I think we're gonna take a break. These guys come in a procession. They help the elderly person of the soil sit. The priest bird sort of just hops up on the table and regards you. And one of the females stands behind his chair. The other one approaches you. And I think what we're going to do is just take a break, and we'll come back to this very interesting meeting.
And fight them all.
And so, thanks for joining us. We will be right back, and we'll see what comes of this meeting. So, thanks for joining us. We'll see you in just a second.
There we go.
Well, welcome back, cherubs. Our little Karandrin audience, thank you for
Conundrum.
sticking with us through the break.
It's a Karandrin conundrum is what we're in right now.
That's right. That's kind of the state of the game at all times, which I like. I like that it's complex. I like that it's like not cut and dry. I like it. I like it a lot. Um, so we are before the break. We were just sitting down for a long winter's nap. No, that's not right. We were talking with this community. A leader of some sort has been escorted into this large meeting hall. He has taken a seat at this table in front of all this stadium seating. Um, a female of the people of the soil approaches Brise and gestures for you to rise and then motions you forward to the table. There is no seat on your side of the table, so no doubt you're supposed to be sort of, stand and be examined and so
Fair
on.
enough.
Um,
Make sure I bring my paper and quill and ink over too.
okay. And head in spear point first.
Exactly. Charge towards them.
That's right. I had ages ago, a good friend of ours, Christy. She used to play role playing with us, and she would get like in combat. She would get like kind of flustered and excited, and it was it was adorable, really.
Yeah.
And I would say, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And how do you want to attack this creature? She goes, I want to flam it. That's all she would say. Those were good days. Um, so um, so. You are looked over carefully, both by the priest bird who is, sitting on the tables, got to be 3 feet above you or so on, and you're standing a respectful distance from them. Um, and it turns. This priest bird's examining you. The old man is examining you. He has with him some sort of bulbed object with a handle. It's wooden. And as he kind of fiddles with it on the table, you can hear it has beads in there. It's some sort of rattle or shaker. The bird turns to the old man and makes a series of short, shrill cries and does a little gesture with its head. The old man seems to take it in. He lifts his rattle. He shakes it and then slams it on the table, sets it down, and slides it to you.
Interesting. I'll grab it and look up at him kind of expectantly.
He watches you. The bird watches you. They both kind of look to the air and then look at you. And, kind of,
No, want me to lift it? I'll lift it. Nothing more.
Well, like a mother bird, the priest bird moves to the edge of the table, grabs your sleeve, shakes the hand with the rattle, and then slams your hand down on the table. You remember
Okay.
ages ago? I guess, I mean, this was a number of years ago. You might have been occupied with other things, but uh, about the CNN or National Geographic photographer and his encounter with a sea lion who was trying to teach him.
No, doesn't sound
You need to
familiar.
you need to find that story. So he is in the water in the Arctic or Antarctic, I forget where they live, and he is he's filming the sea lions in the water. He's in scuba gear and everything else, right? And he
Mhm.
said this, he's got a big, high quality camera, right? He's Nat Geo. He's not going cheap. No digital cardboard cameras here, sir.
Mhm.
And he said, this creature is large enough that its mouth could cover my head and my camera,
Oh my
right?
god. Yeah.
So he comes and it's watching him and he's taking pictures of it, and it's just a remarkable experience and all this. And it goes and snatches a penguin out of the water, comes back and lets it go. And it's the penguin, swims right away. And
Right.
and the photographer's like, "What the hell was that?" And the seal looks at him, goes and gets another one, comes back right in front of the guy, lets it go, and the penguin darts off. And the seal's like,
Dumbass.
and then goes, gets another one, shakes the shit out of it,
Yeah.
releases this poor wounded thing, and it's like swimming, trying to get away, bleeding. And he's like, "Oh dear God, it's trying to teach me to hunt. It thinks I'm a
Yeah.
young seal."
Oh my
And
god.
finally, the seal is just like, "You are a mucking foron. You can't be taught. You are just an idiot," and just swim away in disgust.
Youngsters these days.
I know. They're
Uh,
too interested in their photography to learn how to kill and eat a
in their
penguin.
art.
That's right.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's amazing. Sorry to sidetrack us, but so you're the mother priest bird is,
Yes.
um, and so slams it down the table and then nips your hand and you let go of the rattle, and the old man kind of swells back. There's a sense of pleasure, a sense of being pleased that things are going well.
Yeah.
And then he speaks to you, and the guards intervene, say something to him. He listens to them. He looks at the bird, and um, oh, he makes a series of gestures. Obi-Wan Karen, can I just say, is cooking brats and onions in the next room, and it is driving me crazy because it smells so good.
Mm.
Um, so I mean, clearly it's. I mean, you. I just sort of rolling for your interpretations here. It's clearly who are you and what is your business here.
Mm. Well, um, I haven't figured out a way to respond to them, have I? The best thing I could do is, well, I some type of like a symbol to them, right? Um, um, I think I would have been prepared for this, right?
Roll for me.
Okay. Should I? Well, I have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
The idea is to talk with the priest bird. To
Yes,
Okay,
that's
but then I
right.
need to pull out a heavy tome to do that. I don't know if they'll trust me. I guess I'll attempt it
Just
to
very slowly, right?
pull out, yeah, my tome, Nature's Law, and set it down on the table and open it to the page 233, the page for speak
If
with
you will
the
all
animal.
turn in your tomes to hymn number
Make,
750.
make sure not 234. That's control animal. That's don't want to do that one.
Exactly,
Not want to do
exactly.
that.
Oh,
And oh, wait, I don't even. Hold on one second. I gotta pull my tones. I don't know what level it is.
I think it's 6-ish, 5-ish.
5.5. And I will cast.
That's funny. I don't have it, and I usually print out all your stuff.
Level 6.
There we go.
1 minute plus 1 minute of level. So I'll get 9 minutes of talking in here. Animal tongues.
All right. Let me find your skill. All righty. Roll it up, cowgirl.
32.
It is a difficult casting. Not terrific. Double exhaustion. All right.
So then, like I said, I worked. I will say to the bird. What would be the word I want to use?
Well, first is, can you understand me?
Good point. Can you understand me? Now, is this getting through?
Are you getting my tweets? That was a terrible joke.
Oh, I was reading something else, and then I just heard in the background reading my tweets, and I'm like slowly. 140 words or less I have for the spell. One tweet.
My language you speak. Father has a similar ability. And he gestures to the old man.
Okay.
He, she, he.
Okay. Good. If you wouldn't mind translating for me, then.
He wants to know what your business is here.
Right.
And what are your life ways? What is it that you are?
Well.
AR pen.
Hello. Yes, we do have food for you on the stream. Stay tuned. Watch to the end of the stream.
That's right. Trade in all your Karandrin points for a free bratwurst.
For a slice of cheese.
Our pin, if you get here in time, there may be one left for you.
Yeah, everybody. Kevin's address is. Get a flight there now. What am I saying? Right. So I tell him my business. Been in this scenario before. How do I word this?
Now, the question is, do you answer truthfully in specifics, or do you answer truthfully in terms of getting down to business and saying, while I'm an explorer, I was actually here seeking your kind, right?
That's actually a good idea. I was thinking of being truthful. I'm like, Brise.
No, which is fine.
Well,
Totally
no, but I think it's more in character of me being impatient. I've been in this scenario before, and I'm like, I know how it goes. I think it's better to stretch the truth a little just to get to the point.
Well, right, just sort of focusing on the most important truth. I don't think it's untrue.
Right. No, yeah, that's just like stretching the truth. Yeah. So, no, I'll say that I've heard of your kind, and I've come to seek you to understand your ways. As an explorer, as a person interested in cultures.
I was speaking about me. I was speaking about addressing the priest bird that you were seeking out priest birds.
Oh, well, I am, but I'm also interested in this culture. That's the thing, and I want to see if I can work it into the discussion to seek out priest birds. but
Sure.
I think it's
So
equally
fine.
as important to discover about this culture because that's what my character's interested in. And
Sure, no, that's fine. If you want to go that route, I mean, it's totally fine. I just want to be clear about what I was suggesting.
what you were saying, yeah. So I'm using what you were suggesting, but to talk about
Sure.
the other people. So I kind of just say, yes, I'm an explorer. I've heard about your kind, and I'm curious to know more about your home.
Um, he, conveys, and so we'll set aside our translating bird until the bird needs to interject. All right. And so we'll
Sure.
just have you speak sort of indirectly. Any confusion is going to be caused by the fact that you're using a bird as a translator. So the he says we are a plain people. We've lived concealed here for many years. It is rare that any other than our kind um, journey here, and we prefer it that way. Only your peaceful nature allowed you to pass our outpost alive.
Mm.
How did you know to find us?
1 second. They've lived for many years. Keep. That's an interesting question. I mean, I would just say I was in the area and I perchance saw one of your kind and tried to communicate with them.
While out gathering, of course, we have seen your kind, the shorter, stockier folk,
Mm.
as well as um, the darker skinned, brown skinned, gray skinned, green skinned, which are like it's all goblins.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Although they have hunted us for sport.
Mm.
Um, and so we generally avoid or simply kill them when we encounter them.
Mm.
You bring many wondrous goods. What could we offer you for trade?
Oh, interesting. Oh, I should ask about the route that was handed to me. So I'll pull that out and say that, well, this was given to me for this is a token of thanks. Can you explain what this does? What what y'all use this for?
It is Uaru, the wound healer. You are frailer than us, so perhaps you might only need a quarter of the root
Mm.
placed on a wound. It should help the pain and it should stop all but the worst of blood.
How many hit points though? I'm just kidding.
I
It
love doing
restores 99 HP.
swinging. I love the radical swings into mechanical language, right? It's like, oh yeah, well, that's neat, but what level is the way Josh and I do it is we go, if you were to put a number between 1 and like 10
Yeah.
on the, and we just keep going up. But like, this is why our streams fail. This is why he got sick of it. He was just like, Jesus, is this all we're doing? And my answer is yes, every time.
That's what I do in some of my other campaigns, like D&D. It's like you go into a dungeon, and I'm like, so have other adventurers been in here? How many weeks of experience did they have? 2, 3? And it's like how long have I been adventuring? It's like the most in-world kind of way to do it.
Right.
You can gauge on how dangerous it is. But
That's fantastic.
you gotta
Yeah.
put a level on it.
Right. I mean, just ballpark it for me.
Okay. Thank you. That's very useful. Yeah. What am I actually interested in? I'll ask them about the house, the actual estate above ground. Where the entrance is we came into, the large structure there. Do you know anything about it? I'm interested in that as well.
Before we moved here, our watchers told us that there were the darker skinned folk that hunt us, that they lived there, but they have moved many years ago.
Mm.
Your spear clearly is wondrous. Could we offer you more Uru for it? He gestures to your belt at your bola,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, your necklace as well. Clearly.
You don't want this is around your throat, buddy.
has clearly been touched by wonder.
Right. Yes, many of our my people, create wondrous things, make things wonderful.
As do we. Although many of ours deal with working with the soil or travel through it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Let me think. So the two, I'm curious. One is actually, I really should probably ask about the priest birds then.
Well, you should first answer his question if they can
Oh.
trade.
If they can trade, yes. Not for. Well, let me see if I do have anything I can offer.
I mean, look, don't be a people pleaser. If you don't want to give up anything, just tell them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I might have something I do want to give up, which would help me in talking with the priest bird some more. So if you're interested in wonder stuff.
And just while you're thinking, I just want to let everybody know that remind everybody that due to travel next week, Wednesday we will not stream. Although we may announce a replacement time before next Wednesday, just to keep the ball rolling. And our pen, you should go take a look at our new website, www.karandrin.com, and tell us what you think. We're open for suggestions, like what kind of stuff you guys would like to see on there. And Obi-Wan Karen has said that she is willing to completely redesign the site at just at a whim. I mean, just for any reason whatsoever.
Just for shits and grins.
So,
So I do. So when he points at my bola, I have 3 bolas in my belt, technically. So I guess, do I need intuition or something to understand? Like the others have. Well, no, that one's just +5 craft and +10 substance. So he must mean the bowl of summons.
right.
Okay. Well, then I tell him, yeah, unfortunately, everything I have on me is what I need. I can't offer to trade any of it.
Are you a person who knows much about things of wonder?
Yes, why not? I'll tell him I know more than most.
By
Why
God,
would I?
expert.
Why wouldn't I?
You're almost like a genius level paladin. You have the best words. Um, um, we would be in your debt if you could help us with a matter. It may take some time to explain. You are welcome to stay here as our guest. Oh, looks like I'm getting a divorce. Obi-Wan Karen. Damn it. Damn it.
Just for tonight.
I'm divorced to the couch. Again, I say.
An issue. Okay. I'm curious. I do a little bit of a counteroffer here and said, perhaps I actually am very interested in. Well, now we have to bring in the bird, right?
Right.
In you.
Does this help? Does that help to do?
Exactly. Yeah. Bird symbol. And in this creature here, I have also been seeking them. Perhaps we could arrange something.
The bird says, "Why have you sought my kind?"
If I mention it's a matter of great evil, I'll just like explode and get angry. I say that I've known your kind to be, I guess the right word, wards, or to be protective against evil forces, forces that wish to do harm. And that would be valuable to me in the situation that I'm in.
All evil is our enemy. This is true. And I recognize the taint that is on you.
Stop recognizing my taint. I'm fully clothed. Dang. Okay,
Welcome to Taint Watch 2021.
this stream is going to be like taken down. There's going to be a gap in the episodes.
Exactly. First, first
Pastrami genitals and
Quinn gets filtered on the messaging.
cancel.
So, um, so He says you struggle against demon kind.
That's correct.
The old man stands with difficulty, alarmed, and looks at you and looks at the bird. The bird says, um, you know, um, it is not his fault. He is a victim. Let him speak on.
That's a close call.
Let her speak on, I should have said.
Mhm.
Well, madam, what are you going to say?
What? Well, I was so I kind of restate that. Uh, would it be possible to? I guess how do I want to say this? Request the help of your kind, indicating to the priest bird, um, uh, perhaps in exchange for something.
Well, I think
Or
he wants to know what help you want.
oh, you think that's what they're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. How can I sum that up then?
This is one of those moments where you've been looking and searching for days, but here, confronted with it, you've no idea what you want out of the bird.
Exactly. Because it's an intricate thing. It's all about information. Well, I tell it that protection against these forces, forces of demonic influence, and um, possibly hunting one down, one specifically, a specific demon that hunting it down.
You have the protection already. You have the mantle of my kind.
The one that-
Dark creatures have a very hard time finding you. You're like, not hard enough. I have been hit on by so many men.
I already have the mantle. Green.
As for hunting them down, I could not go. I am pledged to this place
Okay.
and to my father, and gestures to the old man. But there are many in the valleys. I could speak to them on your behalf, but I would need to know what it is that you are hunting.
Okay.
I'm gonna find a caption for good old Krellin.
Probably a good idea here.
Oh, I should go way up, I think.
I'm curious. I just want to inquire about when it says it's pledged to the father to.
Well, you might put that on the back burner. You've still got to figure out.
Well, yeah, but it's just like they just said it, so I was going to ask.
Right.
Could you elaborate? What do you mean by pledged to the father? What's this say?
This is my home. These people are my wards.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Huh. I don't have one just on Krellin.
Oh, we did.
I thought we did too.
You got
the system we have.
something. For anyone that needs to know, Crown is the demon that I've been pursuing, who is trapped atop a volcano.
There's the one we had.
Yeah, trapped by a Baralag.
And we know that, well, we can't say we know. We have had a report that Krallum in his true form is so powerful that no combination of powers on the continent on all of Karandrin could defeat him. Now, fortunately, that's not seems not to be an issue, because if we can break the chains that trap him here, he should be thrown back to the realm where he rules over an entire demonic kingdom. And that's in both Kralum's best interest and, of course, Brise's best interest, because Verilag's power, this sorceress who was at one point a queen of a major empire, she is drawing an enormous amount of power from Kralum while he's trapped.
Yes.
She's trapped while he's trapped. That's correct.
So I will explain about the demon Kralum, trapped somewhere in the mountains of Nargaz.
And you're going to be blunt about who Kralum is?
Well,
Aren't you
yes,
truthful?
because that would get me the sway, of the other birds, right? If it's that big of a problem, then they'll listen. A demon of, what was the term? A demon lord, right?
A realm lord.
Realm lord. I'd say it's a gosh darn realm lord. These sessions are fun. Everyone gets to watch me struggle through, this is why I'm in engineering. It's just like when stuff is like ordered and like one thing leads to the next, but when it's like tilting scales, balancing, it's like gotta choose my words really carefully.
There is no way. It is impossible that a realm lord could be held in such a manner. And go undetected by me and my kind here in our own home valleys?
Better believe it.
What are you, chicken?
Very a pheasant. I tell them that the person who has trapped them has enormous skill and enormous guile. And this was very long ago. I believe this to have happened.
Millennia ago.
You're right.
Before the goblins came, it would roll for me.
45.
It may even be before the elves had a united kingdom.
Wow.
And so when I say that, like right now, and I guess this is information for our audience too, is that right now it's 738 of the fifth reign. That is the local calendar that's used in much of the world, much of the continent, particularly this side of the continent, and especially in these nearby 4 or 5 lands. And the fifth reign is dated by the year of the reign of the king of the elves, specifically. Even if you're in another kingdom, they use that calendar. This is therefore the 738th reign of this present king, the 5th king of the United Elven Kingdom. There were apparently multiples at some point. They all came together under a king. That was the first reign. So that puts it, that's really long time ago. You don't know much about the details of Elven history. You know that King Brexham is who united the kingdoms. But how far back that goes, you don't know.
Yeah.
He says I am happy to call them here. We have a worship space that opens to the sky, and I could call them to that worship space and see if any of my kin will believe you. But it may be some days before they get here.
Mhm. That would be fine. If I could see, well, what am I trying to say? Yeah, I guess that's fine. I assume they'll show me to the. You can always teleport back here and get to the meeting place.
They can show you to what?
I don't know. I was just thinking through my how I'm gonna get back here in a few days. I'll just teleport to the manor and probably
Right.
follow through. Better than teleporting into their civilization.
Right.
Unescorted.
Um, the sort of this representative of the community, the old man, asks, are we not jeopardized by her presence? Um, and the bird does a bird version of a shrug and says, I will know if a demon approaches the community. As for this great lord of darkness, if that threat is real, we were always in danger.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way? I don't think I have anything on me that would, convince them. I can't really of Crown's presence.
Yeah, if their own sort of literally sort of ability to discern evil isn't
Right.
enough to persuade them, then I don't know.
Yeah, I'm basically telling them that their instincts are wrong, right? That there is something hidden beneath it. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that would be a good time for a miracle roll too, but I don't really know how to. We've already said they'll convene with the others, so.
Right, they will summon and so on.
The best we can do.
I know we need to be wrapping up a little bit soon because my poor sore head is making me struggle.
Right.
But I thought, so the old man, just sits there and processes this, and and says, well, my invitation for you to stay is still in place. Would you mind taking a look at this puzzle we have?
Yeah, absolutely. You invited me to your place and trusted me thus far, so can't say no.
So,
The puzzle is this: move these 5 boulders to the other side of the room.
the old man and his attendants and the bird proceed. The 2 guards follow. Your floaty lantern comes along like a good pet.
Mm-hmm.
You will probably have to recast your spell
Right.
by the time you guys.
I forgot it was a tome though, so I subtracted power points like a fool.
You idiot! Just the exhaustion is all you need to do. So they take you to the past the kitchen prep area. They go all the way across to the shaft. That is, that spirals downward.
Right.
And he and the attendants and the guards stomp. And he says it will be too much. Well, you're going to recast. You need to recast because you can tell it's expired by the time you reach the shaft.
Yeah, when I start hearing cawing, then I'm like, take out the book and cast it again. That's 66. What the fuck? That's getting freaky, man.
No problem. It casts fine.
6 more exhaustion.
The bird cannot take us both down at once, so I shall leave you here and await your report. And
Okay.
so the bird, basically hovers as best it can and tells you to get aboard.
Oh boy. Okay. I'll nervously
Yeah.
on the board.
And so, you grab your lantern because you don't know how fast you're going to go, clutch onto the bird, and it's just expertly spirals down very quickly. You hear sort of delighted, pleasant gasps as you pass. Sort of this light sweeping through people, and the bird is like it's a light, and so it's just a very lovely image for you to see.
Yeah.
After a few laps, if you will, it grows quiet. There's not a sense of people around at all. There's also a sense that they've really not treated these walls. The texture has changed. There's now actually some mold. And he lands, with your extra weight precariously on the thing, and you guys kind of have a skidding, sliding stop. Um, and sure enough, water has collected now in this thing, and we're going to end, I think, on this observation.
Okay.
There is a massive bone white column that is sort of leaning against the massive shaft that goes down. It's enormous. You could put your arms around it barely.
Yeah.
It is carven, though no mold grows on it. And it tapers as it drops into the water. And there is you're just sort of putting it together. The bird says, "Tell me, have you ever seen anything like this? Do you know what this is?" And as you're following down its length, there's clear sense of a handle, and then it hits you like a meteor. My God, this is a 70-foot long wand.
What? that exists in this world. How did that? Oh my gosh. Must be an enormous one. Wow, that is an interesting image. Oh. Well, that is a pretty good place to leave off.
Nothing like a cliffhanger, right?
Yeah, very cool. Very mysterious. Gosh. So the wand is 70 feet long. And like our wands are like what, like
18 inches.
18? Yeah. Gosh.
So a 6 foot
Pretty
high
functional.
person has 1.5 foot. So it's 25% of your height.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this would be a 280-foot person.
Be a titan, literally. Yeah. Holy smokes! Just out of for measurement, I ran into a pretty giant dude out in the hills of outside Convergence. I called himself Sir Bregoff or something.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he was about 12 foot high.
Oh yeah, he wasn't okay. Yeah, it wasn't even
Yeah.
close. Wow, that's pretty damn cool. That's why you gotta love Karandrin.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. I really appreciate your continued support. I hope you enjoy the website. It's where, like I said, we're going to be modifying it in the next several months and just thinking about different ways of using it and bringing fun content to you guys and so on. And we'll be moving forward. And but thank you, all of you, for everything you're doing. Check out, of course, all of our links that we always post on there if you want to look at Max's notes and as well as his own YouTube channel. That's our guy.
You change the view. You can
I'm just all right. I think this is the right one.
Okay.
There we go. So you can hop to his YouTube channel and check out his discussion of video game music and arrangements of video game original soundtracks. Did you post some new stuff, buddy?
I did just a few
Good.
days ago on the video game Chicory.
Very nice.
Music by Lena Rain.
Very nice.
Okay, sorry.
Josh was just looking at your stuff today, by the way.
What was he?
I was on the phone with him early this morning.
Better be.
Also, check out the terrific art by Elliot Dunovitz. You see her website there at Tortulua, and they're at artstation.com, Tortulua, and you can see the other terrific stuff that Elliot has done. We always appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we will make an announcement at some point and talk about maybe doing a pre-makeup stream since we're missing Wednesday, and if it doesn't happen, then we'll make that announcement as well. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time.